also a couple of longitudinal sections. Now on the lab practical, it is more likely that I will ask questions on the cross section than on a longitudinal section unless I come across a really good longitudinal section. I have a couple of demonstrations up. I have both a false identical or Pulp stone and a true one. And you may come across some of those on these slides. If you do, please let me know so we can have everybody take a look at it. Then also, has anybody spoken to Brandon today? Okay, but not today. I will put up another slide in Brandon's place since he's not here today. And I'll show this to you on the demo up here. It's a particularly well fixed pulp. And I can guarantee you this slide will be on the lab practical. Okay, so here's a cross section of the pulp, and as we take a quick look, you can see that the fixation through the middle here isn't quite as good as it is on the ends. There's a little bit more shrinkage. But then when you think of it, if you just take a tooth and throw it and fix it, it's going to take a long time for that fixative to make it all the way through the dentin, the enamel, to make it down to the pulp. So actually, if you're doing any studies on this, it'd be wise to section the tooth, then immediately throw it in the fixative. So as we take a closer look, we see lots of fibroblasts, and many of those, but not all, will be stellate. And we see a number of vessels. And here is a small nerve right there. Over here we see a bundle. We have a few arterioles and a venule. And you'll find a number of capillaries in here as well. Towards the outside we can see the odontoblasts. There's a little bit of predentin. And this particular slide, really don't see much in the way of that cell-free zone. But we'll see that on another slide. Okay, so a lot of vessels, another nerve right here. Let's back off the magnification a little bit. Go down to the other end. A better fixation down here. Another nerve right there, more vessels, and we begin to see some capillaries. In this case, that's a blood capillary. There's a couple of red blood cells in it. And then over here, probably a lymphatic capillary. Now, as you look at these, you will encounter occasionally a nucleus right on the edge, outside of the capillary itself, or the venule, or the arteriole, and those are pericytes. This is the place that we'll find pericytes in the pulp. Okay, so this is a cross section, so let's go look at a longitudinal section. The tooth in situ in the slide box will have pulp, and in this case, you see the permanent tooth below the deciduous tooth. And we have some more pulp right here. A little bit larger vessels, you can see the branching of the vessels. There are the odontoblasts, predentin, and as we take a closer look, rather large lymphatic vessel right there. But you can see the fibroblasts and some very fine fibers of collagen. So this is in that tooth in situ, and we can find some vessels in the longitudinal section. Okay, well those are the two that were in the original slide box. We also have those slides that came from the perio department, and some of those have some rather well fixed pulp. We have a little shrinkage right there. You can see the pulp right here, and you can find essentially the same thing that we were just talking about. A little bit higher concentration of cells in this one. And as we get towards the center, of course, the fixation is going to be quite as good. But we can find fibroblasts. We have just a portion of a nerve in the longitudinal section right there. And we'll find some other structures as well. So fiberglass, collagen, ground substance in the background. But the slide that you'll all have the opportunity to take a look at, and we'll put this up in Brandon's place there. This is a cross section, and the fixation is about as good as you're going to find. So as we go over towards the side, we have a cell-free zone right in there. And using the fine adjustment, turning down the iris diaphragm a little bit, you can see those fine fibrils, nerve fibers that are making their way between the odontoblasts and eventually to the dental tubules. So the zone of fresh cow would be right in here. You can see a number of vessels, capillaries, both blood and also lymphatic, and a number of nerves and cross section. Collagen, stellate fibroblasts, nerves, and as we go down, this was taken a little bit closer to the apical foramen, we can tell because these vessels are larger than that previous cross section that we looked at. So as we take a look, let's see if we can find. There's a pericyte right there. Crescent shaped nucleus on the exterior of the endothelium. That's a pericyte. Okay, well, there's more nerve. And again, we can find that cell-free zone right about there, and then the cell-rich zone just on the other side of it. So take some time and take a look at this, and we can get this slide out next week as well. If you want to take a look at it. Woe be unto you should you drop this slide. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And I have your tests up here. They do not leave for lab. The average on the test was 90. So everybody did very well. Either the instruction in this class was just marvelous, or it was too damn easy. Okay, so the tests are up here.